Welcome back to Supreme and Black Podcast. This is your host, D Rose. If you're new to the channel, make sure that you hit that subscribe button. If you're watching the video, to show your support, please hit the like button. Now, in response to the video that you see right now, there was actually a different group of 100 black men that actually showed up in Columbus, Ohio, and walked these very same streets. Check out the video.
Black community leaders hit the streets in Columbus, Ohio this weekend after a demonstration by neo-Nazis. Surveillance footage shows an armed group of men carrying flags with swastikas marching through the streets. The group was dressed head to toe in black with masks covering their faces as they shouted hate speech against Jews and people of color. So black leaders in Columbus then took to the same streets in a counter-protest.
Today it sends a clear message that this cannot happen in our city, in this state, nor in this nation. We're not going to be repelled. We're not going to be moved back.
Hate crimes have been on the rise for the past several years, according to data from the FBI. Just last week in Michigan, another group carrying Nazi flags outside a theater production of The Diary of Anne Frank. The Anti-Defamation League says acts of anti-Semitism more than doubled last year compared to 2022.
So major shout out to, Brother Holmes, them down there, the black leaders and the locals that marched through Columbus, Ohio, and a unity rally. I think that is truthfully the best way that you can actually go about this. There's no need for you to allow them to play with your intelligence, emotional intelligence to be exact, and, getting you to do some shit that honestly you're going to regret because, like I've told you, and even like the Reverend has stated, like, those people don't really have any agenda besides just to stir up the pot. They not really no threat. Those aren't the people that you should necessarily worry about. But one of the things that I had noticed is that when I was doing some research about it was that the reason that, Reverend Derrick Holmes and other brothers had met up and wanted to do the unity rally is because in the community of Columbus, Ohio, there were people that were scared of their safety and how protected they were in their city that something like this happened. And don't get me wrong, that is exactly of what those little groups that want to be seen or heard or whatever, that's their goal, is to have, a civil unrest for people to feel as if that they aren't safe in their own cities. The truth of the matter is that I see these type of issues and my focus shifts to what are we actually going to do differently within the black communities or any community that is approached by these people or that they're actively having marches in, which, is freedom of speech. They can do that. But in retrospect, what are we going to do different? You feel what I'm saying? Like, there's women that were coming out. They were saying that they were nervous. They didn't want to go out, which is, respectfully so. I can understand that. But we as black men, and this is a challenge for us, is that this is exactly how we should approach this situation. We should have all our brothers together. If they hit the city with some people, we need to hit the city and be prepared for whatever comes with that. There's no need for our communities to live in fear because of 10 people walking down the street with mask on and a bullhorn hollering out silly shit. You feel what I'm saying? Like, I want that, and this is just how I was raised, is that even though we know for a fact that there are prejudiced people within these communities, I grew up in a small town, you're going to see stuff like this. You're going to hear about stuff like this. But I'm going to tell you something, that my great-granddaddy, they wasn't going for that. They had their own land. They had their own guns. They knew how to protect their people. Like they said, they didn't ask for me and I didn't ask for them. But as long as you don't touch me or my family, we have nothing to worry about. So I never grew up in fear of what white people or anybody that felt like they was going to do something to us. I didn't live in fear. And I think that what that tells me is that when these type of things happen in different communities and people come out and say that they're in fear, it's hard for me to understand that because my family just wasn't structured that way. My community wasn't structured that way. And regardless of how much we may have fought and did whatever to each other, we weren't worried about that. Like, I remember being in school and it was the race wars that we've been in and had to, beat up white boys and shit like that because, they want, oh, nigga, and blah, blah, blah. And they got the, Confederate flags, rebel flags, acting like they just some real, and we've gotten suspended from school, kicked out all type of stuff. Like it was a big deal. Football team beefing with each other, not blocking. So coming from small towns, I seen stuff like that, but I was never worried about it because my family was built like that. I truthfully hope that as things like these occur, and if they continue to occur, that our women, our men that aren't, just boots on the ground feel protected within our communities. And if we have other little additional things that are going on, maybe this is a sign to say we need to recenter our focus and get back focused on the protection of the community, because we got our own stuff going on in the hoods and the neighborhoods and communities. But if this is how people are going to approach it, and this is truthfully how your auntie, grandmama, older uncle, whatever feel, don't feel like they can defend themselves, we need to reshift our focus, man. So I salute these brothers again. Shout out to the 100 Black men of Central Ohio that mentors, doing what they need to do, but also took this as a counter rally to make their presence be known and didn't have to be ignorant about it at all. Let me know in the comments what you think. Like, share, and subscribe. As always, long live CC. I'm out.